Welcome to the MTVT lesson plan template for developing and sharing exemplary lesson plans. This overview will demonstrate how to navigate and utilize the features within the tabs of this page. Throughout this guided instruction, you will encounter action buttons that you can select to gain access to materials and resources that might aid you in the process of developing your exemplary lesson plan. Additionally, you will see video icons that will provide a tutorial demonstrating and explaining how to develop specific parts of the exemplary lesson plan. Upon completing each section, you will find an interactive checklist that you will use to determine if you have completed all parts. A progress bar will indicate that you may proceed to the next tab section of the exemplary lesson plan template. You will first begin by entering your information below to become an MTVT lesson plan contributor. After submitting your information, MTVT.org will contact you shortly via the email address that you entered. Please proceed by completing the pre-assessment below to determine where you might need additional resources or support in developing your lesson plan. Upon completion, you will click on the tabs on the horizontal bar to navigate through each section. Let's begin by clicking the tab titled Lesson Plan Template. This is where you will follow the steps to obtain a copy of your lesson plan template that you will use throughout this process. The information on the soft copy of the lesson plan that you save to your Google Drive will be the exact information on this guided template that is broken into smaller, more manageable sections. If you do not have a Google account, or if you need help making a copy of your lesson plan and sharing it with mtvt.org, use the instructional tutorials that will guide you through the process. The next tab section labeled About will be the information needed to give you credit for the exemplary lesson plan if yours is published to the MTVT website. Please complete the lesson title, name, and web profile. So let's take a look at the next section titled Learners. In this section and in each that follows, you will be provided question prompts that will help you in the development of your exemplary lesson plan. For this section, you will provide the grade level, subject area, core subject, and 21st century theme. You will conclude with a background and rationale. Remember that you will use the interactive checklist at the bottom to ensure that all parts of your lesson are developed. The progress bar will indicate when it's time to move to the next section. You will scroll to the top and move on to the next section, Goals and Objectives. You will need information providing the standards of your lesson plan in this section. Each section will need to be completed, and remember that the action buttons and the instructional tutorials are available as needed for developing the content for this section. Remember that you will continue to use the interactive checklist at the bottom to determine when it's time to move to the next section. For the section Facilitating Learning, use the question prompts to help you think about developing this part of the lesson plan. Make sure to include all materials by uploading them in an email or by embedding links to the materials that you used onto your Google document. If you're needing support on determining the thinking routine that you used or plan to use, click on the action button for helpful resources or use the instructional tutorial to help you. Make sure to share how you introduce your lesson, followed with step-by-step instructions of what the students did as well as the teacher. Remember that these exemplary lesson plans need to be so specific that educators who want to use your plan will be able to do so seamlessly. Don't forget the importance of describing the closing of your lesson, and finally, use the checklist at the bottom to ensure all parts are developed for facilitating the lesson. Finally, we have the last section titled Evidence of Thinking. Include all formative and summative assessments by uploading them and sharing them in an email to mtvt.org@gmail.com or by embedding a link onto your lesson plan document. This includes rubrics, checklists, task lists, and answer keys. It is important to provide a student work sample to represent the outcome of the learning that took place. Use the checklist at the bottom to make sure that you've developed this part of the lesson plan, and share your lesson plan with mtvt.org@gmail.com. If you need support, use the instructional tutorial that will provide you information on how to accomplish this. Once the MTVT.org reviewers analyze your plan for all developed parts, you will be notified to either modify it or you'll be notified that it will be published on the site. Thank you for sharing your time and expertise in developing an MTVT.org exemplary lesson plan.